Number 9 is one of those problems that I would take a guess and keep on going. I would not leave it blank, but I would just pick one and hope for the best. Because this one's going to take us some time. This is what I call a monster problem. It's definitely doable, but it is not easy. So let me work it for you. If you want to just skip this one, you can. But if you're interested in knowing how it works, let's take a look. The graphs of y equals 2x minus 5 and y equals negative 3x plus 5 are shown on the coordinate graph. The 2x minus 5 is this one. It has a positive slope. And then the negative 3x is this one. It has a negative slope. So they've graphed the two equations on the line, and they intersect at point P, which happens to be from origin over 2 down 1. So point P is 2, negative 1. And let me just put that up here somewhere because I need that space on that graph. So point P is 2, negative 1. And then at that intersection, as always happens with an intersection of two lines, you get 4 regions that follow. So let's just loosely make some notes about our regions. Here is region 4, down here in this little section. And then we have region 3, which is over here. And I'm trying to not be picky with my colors, but close enough. And then we have region 2, which I'll make with pink or purple. I'm not sure how that's going to come across. And then I have this large region over here, region 1. And that's my whole graph. If you look at all the sections of the graph, each of the points falls in one of the regions. What is the solution to this system of equations? Inequalities. They're not equations. So we want to know which of those regions holds the solution set for this system. And I need to pick some points in each of these regions to test my inequalities. So let's take a look here. I think in region 1, I'm going to go back 3 and down 3 from origin. So back 3, down 3, I'm going to put a point right here. And I'm going to actually draw that in and call it negative 3, negative 3. You could pick any point in this yellow region, would be fine. And let me just come down here. For region 3, I'm going to use negative 3. No, I'm in the wrong section, sorry. What region is yellow? Region 1. So I'm going to use negative 3, negative 3 to test that one. Region 2, I have colored in pink or purple. And I think I'm going to pick 3, 3 here. So it would be over 3 and up 3. So it's kind of right in the middle of that pink section. And I'm going to use that one for region 2. So let me just make a note down here. I hope I'm not making you seasick moving this screen around. Region 3, I'm going to go with 5, 0. So let's go to origin, go over 5, and then don't move. Just stay right on the x-axis. So 5, 0 is right here, and that's in region 3. So right now I am only picking points in each section that I want to test. Region 4, I'm going to go with over 2 down 4. So right in there would be over 2 down 4 units. So 2, 4. Excuse me, 2, negative 4. And then we already found point P. That was 2, negative 1. So let me just put it right here. So what we've done here is to pick points in each region, and then of course to note the coordinates of point P. And then I'm going to test each of my choices. So region 1 I've marked in yellow. Region 2 I've marked in pink. Region 3 is blue on my diagram. Region 4 is orange. And then point P is not a region, it's just a point. So the color coding will help you to understand if you want to do that. And I'm going to start with region 1, which we have made on this diagram yellow, and I've chosen the point negative 3, negative 3. So right now we are testing region 1. So I'm going to take that first inequality, which is y equals, or y is less than or equal to 2x minus 5. And I'm going to substitute in the point. So y is negative 3. X is also negative 3. And I have a minus 5 out there. So let's simplify. On the right side, have negative 6 minus 5. And this says negative 3 is less than or equal to negative 11. Is that true? Is negative 3 further in the hole than negative 11? It is not true. So we know that this is not our answer. Region 1 is not the answer. So let me try region 2. I'm going to be tight on space, so I'm going to put it right here. And that's our pink area up there. We're calling it 0.33. So let's test this one and see what we get. So I have y is less than or equal to 2x minus 5. And in this case, y is 3. X is 3. And don't forget your minus 5 over there. So I get 6 minus 5 on that side. And this says that 3 is less than or equal to 1. That's not true. So this is not the answer I'm looking for. All right, let's try region 3. And I'm doing region 3 with blue. And the point I chose there is 5, 0. So write down your inequality. Y is 0. X is 5. And that's 10 minus 5. So this says that 0 is less than or equal to 5. That's true. Now it also has to be true for the other part of the system. If we can get 2 trues, we've got it. So let's take a look here. I'm going to have to get a drink. About to start coughing. Sorry about that. Let's try the other inequality, which is y is less than or equal to negative 3x plus 5. So let's try this same problem using those values. And if we get a true this time, we've got the answer we're looking for. I will finish the problem. So we get 0 is less than or equal to negative 10. Is that true? No. So this is not true. We got it okay on this part, but it's not true on the second one of the inequalities. And before I even get down here making a mess, let me white this out. And I am not doing unauthorized use. We purchased this test when it was an actual practice test. And now that it's been retired, we are not using it against copyright. Okay, back to my black pen, and we'll move on to region 4. Ooh, don't know what I've done, but it's not good. I think somehow oh, I see what I've done. I didn't get the pen. I got some kind of crayon or something. Sorry. I'm getting a little rattled because I'm running out of room. So let me just calm down and let's look at region 4. And the point is 2, -4. You see why I told you just to pick one and hope for the best on a time test. All right, so y is less than or equal to 2x minus 5. And we're going to use -4 for y. We're going to use +2 for x. And see if this turns out to be true or false. So 4 minus 5. -4 is lower down than -1. That is true. But remember, it has to work for both inequalities if this is a true system. So let's try the other one. We have y is less than or equal to -3x plus 5. So -4. Then substitute the 2. And you have -4 is lower down than -6 plus 5. -4 is lower down than -1. That is true. So this is looking like my answer. But don't forget about point P. We still need to test that one, and I'm going to have to come up here to do it because I've just run out of room. So let's test point P. And I'm using that first inequality. That's y is less than or equal to 2x minus 5. I am expecting a false here, but we need to know. -1 is lower down than 2 times 2 minus 5. So -1 is lower down than 4 minus 5. -1 is less than or equal to -1. So this is a situation. This turns out to be true. So I have two solutions that are true, and before I get any further, I'm going to check my math here if I can find an answer key. Bear with me. This is too long of a video to start over, so let's see. Oh, I need to check the second point, or the second inequality. Oh, goodness. I need to quit for the day. Just like we did below, if it turns out to be true, we need to check the second one. I was thinking this is not the answer for another reason, but let's see what happens here. We can only choose one of the multiple choice answers. So -1 is your y value, 2 is your x value. So let's see if it works here. If this turns out to be true, then my idea will be important. And indeed it does. Because in this one also, I get true. So here's the situation. I've got point P that turns out to be true. And I also have region 4 that turns out to be true. And I can only choose one answer. So here's the thing. Point P is sitting right here at the top of region 4. It's, in a sense, part of region 4. But there are things other than point P that work. Anything in this orange section should make true on both accounts, but that whole section is in the solution set for both of these. So even though point P works, it does work. It's true in both scenarios. The problem with point P being the answer is this. Here's the but. There are more points than this one I'm just going to say more points than P that fit. So for that reason, I would not want to choose point P. I want to choose this whole region. So all of region 4 works, and for that reason, I would go with D as in delta. And let me just make sure on the answer sheet right now, because I do not want to record this video again. Let me see if I can find an answer key, and I will. Yes, the answer is D as in delta. The point of intersection is not the whole region, and we need the whole region that fits. This is a beast. I would pick one and hope for the best on that one. But if you really like these, there's the solution.